From the YBA Phoenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rocklin, California, it's Coach's Rize Time with Coach C. Collins.
Get it started. 3, 2, 1.
Coach's Rize Time.
Yep, I'm Coach C. Collins, and welcome to 2023. I am back and trying to get you guys some information. Welcome to Coach's Rize Time, where we talk a little bit of basketball, a little bit of red pill content, blue pill, black pill content, life in general, and just me giving my perspective on a few things going on. If you are listening, if you have been following, I appreciate you. Please, if you're here listening to the audio side, hit that follow button. If you're checking me out on YouTube, and I will have links for that, check out YouTube algorithm and help a brother out. Do the HBO special, help a brother out special. Shout out to the Poor Man's Podcast. And, of course, please follow and check out the main show, which is About That Life podcast with me and Coach Mark and Coach Kirk and, you know, different guests and things like that. Just please feel free to support if you feel like it. Now, with all that being out the way, today's topic, I wanted to talk about, we are here in 2023, January 2023, right? And the AAU season is upon us, right? The live period's coming. So far right now, it seems to be 3 live periods. There's 2 in April, 1 in July. They could add one. You never know. That's what they did last year. And when I mean they, I mean the NCAA. So now I want to talk to kind of coaches, players, parents, you know, kind of how to navigate this deal. Some might be new to the high school scene. Some might be familiar, especially for those who are seniors. You guys might have questions yourself, so hopefully I can provide a few answers for those who want to listen and get some insight into AAU basketball. So first, let's talk about the players, because obviously I believe that's the most important pieces of the table. Seniors, you will be able to play on 17U teams. They'll also have 18U as well, but you can play on 17, 18U teams. I know for the UA circuit, they typically say you can have 3, I think 2 or 3, sometimes 4 seniors per team. And that's not counting holdbacks and reclasses. That's a whole nother thing. I know there's usually going to be some JUCO circuits. There's going to be some prep school circuits, but I do think it's all pending on age, not necessarily grade. For the freshmen, for you guys being new to this, okay, you got to get registered for the NCAA live period. You got to go through this whole website. It's kind of tedious. You know, it's a lot of work there. There's usually going to be some really good events. I'm obviously based in Rocklin, California, Northern California, for those who are out of state who might listen who not understand. Northern California, Southern California are like 2 different states. So I'm here kind of gearing up my program to get for it. I am excited because there's a lot of moves I'm making. I've been in talks with the Compton Magic. You know, I still have a spot on the UA circuit with my 17U team. So there's a lot of moves to be made as far as players. My last thing, you know, get through your high school seasons. Take care of your bodies. Rest when you can. You know, obviously, if you're going deep in state, that means you won't be done until generally March, late March, mid-March. So, you know, take care of yourselves in that regard, and best of luck to you. Parents, so for you, obviously the biggest thing is you got to find which programs you think will work for you. There's a lot of programs out there, and you do have to use some discernment to figure out what is best for you. My best word of advice, if you have a program that's checking all the boxes for you, you know, coaching your kid up, putting them in the right positions to be seen. Maybe they're a shoe circuit program, even if they're a strong independent program that, you know, gets into the right tournaments. Like in California, a hoop circuit is a very big one that gets a lot of colleges. They honestly do. They're an independent program that does very well. Guys got to remember, parents, please try to remember this. Only 1.3% of high school athletes get to play Division I. 1.3%, maybe 1.3 to 1.5. So it's not a lot of kids that get that level. Again, 7%, only 7 to 8% of high school varsity athletes get to play any level of college. That's from JC, NAI, and all the NCAA Division IIIs. So please understand, If your kid gets any opportunity to play college, even if it's at a JC, that's not a loss. That's not an L. That's a W. Because you got to understand, it's a very, very small percentage of the basketball community that gets to play collegiately at any level. So this whole misconception of trying to diss guys that went NCAA Division III instead of, going Division I, or an NAI guy who plays NAI Division II. Well, nowadays NAIA is starting to all just become one division, but going NAI Division II, going against an NCAA Division II guy is all of a sudden like, no, it really isn't that misconception. So parents, put your kids in a position where they're going to get the most growth. Obviously, the biggest X factor of all this is money. There are parents that can afford this, and it's pretty easy, and they don't have to worry about costs. They're doing well for themselves. I know for me, being in Rocklin, California, and around in El Dorado Hills, kind of being on the other side, Folsom, I'm around some pretty wealthy areas and wealthy people, so they don't have to worry about money as much. For those of you who do, I would say, parents, do your work early. Legitimately, if you save at least $500 a month between now until April, that'll give you $1,500, $2,000 to work with. Now, I understand everyone can't be in that situation. And it would be great. Let me put it like this. If your kid is 6'10", super athletic, all conference player, ESPN top 100, you're not going to have to pay anything because the top programs, the sponsored programs, are going to take care of you. But if you're just, a really good basketball player, but, you're necessarily not getting the looks, maybe you're at a small Division 5, things like that, yes, parents, you're going to have to spend some money. And I know it sucks. It's not fun. I'm not sitting there acting like it is, but it's an investment for your child. It's an investment. And you got to think long term. If you spend $3,000, let's do a round number, $5,000 every single year for their AAU season, freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. Crap, you can even put in senior year at this point. It's $20,000. But then they get a full ride scholarship to a state school, for instance, Sac State. Tuition there is about $40,000 a year. So $40,000 times 4. What's that? Because I know my math's terrible right now, right? 40,000 times 4. That's $160,000, correct? And, let's just say on the low end, maybe you go to a school, it's $100,000 to $160,000. And you invested $20,000. Well, guess what? You came ahead. You came out ahead. I'm not negating the cost of AAU, but you have to understand, refs got to get paid. Scorekeepers got to get paid. Tournaments got to get paid. And, of course, the super talented kids are going to have that offer. My last comment is to the coaches. Understand loyalty is dead in AAU. If you are lucky, I can definitely say for myself, I'm very blessed and lucky, but I do put in a lot of work to make sure I have a lot of things in place. You will always potentially lose kids. If you got them really good and they're tall and strong and athletic, you're going to have the higher programs. Like for me, I have to deal with the Oakland Soldiers, their EYBL team. Obviously, it's a high-level team. Team Lillard, that's a Adidas-sponsored NBA player team. Jalen Green Elite. I have to deal with these programs. And no knock on what they do because they're lucky enough to be in that position. YBA is a very strong independent / shoe circuit program. We are very much in between. I'm fortunate enough because I'm on this individual island that kind of excludes me from all the general things that happen in AAU. And again, I try to hold myself and treat everyone with respect, especially guys and my peers who I've been going against for years. Shout out to Joey from Lake Show, Lowe, who's now at Sac State, KP with Arsenal, Peyton's Place, and the list goes on and on. But I try to respect all my competition and peers. San Francisco, work hard, play hard, Brian. And I understand it's rough out there, coaches. You know, it does suck to work with a kid. And I'm telling you, I've worked with kids. I was with them since 4th grade, in the gym with them day in, day out. They become sophomores, juniors, and then they say, yeah, coach, I think I want to go play with this team and leave you. And they say, oh, I appreciate everything you did. I mean, I've had some kids that were flat out just wrong. You know, had a kid named Benny. He left. I don't necessarily think he left the right way, kind of dissed his teammates, but that was his choice. Another kid named Sammy was very disrespectful the way he left. And I don't hate the kids. I wish them all a lot of success. I hope the best for them. But one thing I've learned, or something I've learned in this AAU game, your character's going to show. It's very obvious. Basketball reveals character. When you play basketball, it shows who you are. And it shows who the parents are. It shows their intent and what they see and how they really feel. And it's tough to look at times. But I do hope that any of my words out there kind of can help people be encouraged, and hopefully it helps illuminate some ideas for you guys. The AAU season is coming for 2023. It should be exciting. I look forward to it. A lot of the 6th-year seniors and 3-year freshmen, due to the pandemic, are now going to finally move forward and move on. And, college ball is survival of the fittest. You have to love this. You have to be in love with this. And I'm going to leave you guys with this, and hopefully it sticks with somebody. You got to remember, you can love basketball, but one thing, it will never tell you I love you back. It is a one-way relationship, and you have to be willing to put in the price of admission in order to see the success. So best of luck for everybody out there in your recruiting period. I mean, January into mid-February, basically March, the AAU transfer portal is always in effect. Kids will literally leave your team at halftime if you're not happy enough. If you're not winning at halftime, they'll go put on a jersey and play for the other team. So, parents, please, my advice for you, think about the development of your child. It can't just be all about showcasing the talent. It can't just all be about that. Have a coach that can get the best out of your kid. Get great body language, great attitude. Help your kid to be a great teammate. If all you're thinking is, I just don't want to pay any money, like, fine. That's just looking at it as a business. And if that's the way you want to look at it, instead of as human as people, you're going to have to reap what you sow when it comes to that. I've just seen a lot of negative things happen that way. I've seen a lot of kids become straw dogs, and they're just left out there to burn. And parents burn a lot of bridges doing that and making relationships irreparable. It's sad, because to me it's something that's an easy fix. Don't forget to be human. Don't forget that the organization that was with your kid when nobody noticed him is the same organization that could potentially get your kid that college scholarship so they can live their dream. Because ultimately, there's nothing wrong with these kids dreaming and aspiring to do those things. They should, and they should love it. So, I just hope everybody heeds my words and listens a little bit, and hopefully it helps. With that being said, I'm coming to a close. I'm glad to be back, hopefully doing some podcasts. Some shout out to Mark and GGT, God-given talent. I hope we can bring some About That Life episodes for you guys. I'm just glad to be back in the chair and getting you guys some good content. Thank you again for listening. If you have, I know I've been gone for a minute. I'm going to try to get back on it, try to be consistent with my content. Please check me out. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like button, check out my sponsors. They've been doing great by me. Everybody, I wish you all the best. Praise you. You are valuable. Whoever's listening to this, and be safe. I'm out.